Today, we are talking about perfectionism. If you want to get shit done, you have to get out of your own way. Perfectionism is talked about like it's some kind of virtue, like it means your standards are just higher than everyone else's, like it proves you are serious, extremely capable, and likely to do something brilliant if you just put your mind to it. But here's the thing. If perfectionism is meant to help you do better work, why does it so often leave you stuck, stressed, and not actually doing the thing? In this video, I'm going to dig into the psychology of perfectionism, and then I'm going to give you a simple 3-step way out of that loop, so that by the end of the video, you'll know exactly how to make a start, make decisions, and keep moving without waiting for the perfect mood, the perfect plan, or version of yourself to magically appear. I know this works because helping people get out of their own way and whip their thinking into shape is all I do all the ding-dong day. If we haven't met before, I'm Amy from the Edit Lab, a Cambridge grad and trained actor, and I help people write the damn thing, say the damn thing, and do the damn thing without losing the plot. Clarity in essays, reports, presentations, public speaking, applications, awkward emails, difficult conversations, all of it. That's my bag. So, what are we waiting for? Let's jump in. What is the deal with perfectionism? People seem to think that perfectionism is basically just high standards, that it means you really care about quality, that you are being thorough and you just want to do things properly. Yeah, sometimes that is true, but here's the thing. Half the time, perfectionism is not really about quality. It's about self-protection. Protection from being judged. You don't want to hand something in before it matches the version of it or of you that you would rather other people see. The stuff we put out into the world, our work, a presentation, even a meal that we've made for others, or how tidy our house is, feels like a symbol or extension of ourselves. Because if the work or the thing is rejected, then by extension, so are we, right? Wrong. We're scared of being judged, of being ridiculed, ostracized, placed in the out group. It's human nature. But if you think the issue is that you need to try harder or raise your standards even more, all you're doing is just adding pressure to a system that is already overloaded, and no one can perform like that. Here's the thing, perfectionism is usually an attempt to avoid the messy middle. It's the desire to leap from vague idea to polished final version without having to go through that awkward, uncertain, clunky, badly worded bit in between. Unfortunately, that bit is where the work happens. The sharp paragraph, the strong presentation, the clear report, that meal that ends up on the table, none of that arrives fully formed. You have to build it, often from scratch. So the answer is not to care less about the judgment and just embrace the mess, la-da-da-da-da. No. It's about making the building easier so you can get to where you need to without stalling or flapping about it. But how do we do it? Let's find out. Tip number 1, stop asking for final draft quality at the first draft stage. One of the biggest mistakes that perfectionists make is expecting polished thinking way too early. You open a document or a deck and immediately want a strong argument, a clear structure, good phrasing, confidence, direction, a decent opening, preferably, that lovely warm feeling that this all might turn out pretty brilliantly. That is far too many jobs all at once, and no wonder you freeze. A better question is, what is this stage actually for? Not the whole project, but this particular stage. If you're at the beginning, the job might just be make a rough list, pick a direction, write the clumsy opening, map the paragraph jobs. I've got a video on that up there. Get the thing out of your brain and onto the paper or out into the world badly enough that you can finally see what it is trying to do. That is already enough right at the beginning. So, if you're writing an essay, the perfectionist version says, I need a strong introduction that sounds intelligent and flows well into my first point. A more useful version says, I need an opening that tells me what this essay is actually arguing. Different task. If you're preparing a presentation, the perfectionist version might say, I need to sound polished, confident, and memorable. The more functional version might say, I need to know what my first point is and what order the rest of it goes in. Again, it's a different task. Perfectionism makes work feel enormous because it shoves every stage into one horrible moment and then acts as though your worth as a person just hangs on how well you perform in it. That's just a bad way of working. And once you separate the stages, something else becomes obvious too. A lot of perfectionism is not really about the work itself, it's about your definition of what counts as done. Which leads me to tip number 2, replace good with useful. This is another problem. The target is often so vague, it becomes impossible to reach. People say they want something to be really good. Fine. But what does that mean? Good by whose standard? Good for what purpose? Good enough for what context? Good, the word good is slippery and subjective. Useful is much easier to work with. A useful paragraph has a job. A useful answer has or makes a point. A useful email might help a decision get made, and a useful slide supports what you are saying concisely instead of just packing in loads of bullet points all over the screen chaotically. This here is critical, and I'll tell you why. Perfectionism feeds on vagueness. The vaguer the standard, the easier it is to keep fiddling forever and never feeling done with it. So instead of asking, is this good? Try asking, is this doing its job? Is it useful? Take a weak bit of academic writing. This study provided useful findings about social media use in adolescence. Well, that sounds fine, but it says pretty much nothing. A more useful version might be, this study suggests that frequent social media use may intensify social comparison in adolescents, although the self-report design limits how confidently we can treat that relationship as causal. That version is not better because it's fancier or longer, but because it is actually doing something. It makes a claim and puts a limit on it, and it's the same with speaking. A weak interview answer as to why someone should work with me sounds like this. I'm a hard worker, I'm passionate, I always give 100%. That's not an answer, that is filler. You know, it's guff. A more useful version would be, in pressured situations, I'm usually the person who can reduce the noise and turn a messy task into a workable plan. So with my last client, that meant, now we have something. Perfectionism often keeps people polishing vague rubbish because vague rubbish can be fussed over forever. Useful work is less comfortable because it has to commit to something. And there is one more thing perfectionists tend to hate, which is unfortunate because it's also usually where progress starts. Tip number 3, build proof, not mood. Perfectionists often wait to feel ready. They want more clarity, more confidence, more time, a better headspace, the right playlist, or better lighting, a stronger sense that now is the moment. What they usually need, though, is proof. Proof that they can begin before they feel fully ready. Proof that the work gets clearer once they are in it. Proof that movement often reduces stress better than more thinking or procrastinating around the task. That is why small, completed actions matter so much. If you keep saying, oh, I need to sort this out, your brain just hears one massive, foggy threat. But if you say, I'm going to write 3 terrible bullet points for the middle section, that is something you can actually do. So when you're stuck, don't sit there asking, how do I do this perfectly? Or how can I create dazzling work? Ask, what is the smallest visible move that proves I have started? And that might be naming the 3 paragraph jobs. I've got a video about that on my channel. Drafting the ugly first sentence. Choosing the slide order. Writing the one line that you keep avoiding. Turning sort references into find and place 2 missing citations. Turning revise interview answers into record one 60-second answer. Bosh. That is not lowering the bar, it's just how you create traction. And traction is often what makes decent standards possible in the first place. Because the irony is this, the people who produce the strongest work are not usually the people sitting there asking whether every sentence is genius. They are the people who can stay in contact with imperfect work for long enough to make it better. It's uncomfortable, but it's the real skill. So if perfectionism has been making you feel stressed or stuck or just a bit crap, here is the takeaway. Perfectionism is not always a sign that you care deeply about quality, but quite often it's just your nervous system trying to protect you from the discomfort of being seen in progress. The answer is not to become careless. It's to separate the stages and define what usefulness actually means and make smaller, visible moves so that the work can start before your brain has finished arguing with you. If starting feels heavier than it should, I've got a free worksheet called A Way In on my freebies page, and it is designed exactly for this problem. I'll link that down in the description. If you found this useful, do 2 things for me right now. Hit like and subscribe to my channel. I'm Amy from the Edit Lab. I'll see you on the next imperfect video.